It's Easter Sunday, and this will be a quick tour of the garden. It doesn't look anything like it looks later in the season when it's all spectacular and like a jungle, but sometimes it's good to see the bare bones. And as you can see, I have permanent pathways, and I put a lot of wood chips on them to keep the weeds down. And then I have a variety of beds made from a variety of materials, wooden frames. These are just some step units made out of concrete, old locust posts, just some old logs that were laying around, some old beams that my friend milled, but we didn't use them for anything, so I just put them in the garden. Bricks. And just some river stone. I mean, you can really use anything. The idea is just to separate the bed from the path. One of the main reasons I found that I've killed plants is stepping near them. So I have some herb beds over there. They're a bit wide, and I was kind of stepping back in them to weed, and I was getting a lot of plant death. So I stopped doing that. I put some stones back in there to step on. But when you compact the soil like that, it does a lot of damage. Even in annual beds, you don't want to be doing that. You want to keep your soil nice and fluffy. It just makes everything a lot easier. And I really don't like the trend toward the high raised beds that often are not even in contact with the soil. They have a bottom built into them, or sometimes people just line that bottom with landscape fabric or something like that. You really want the roots of your plants to be in connection with the earth. That way they can access water and nutrients, and they can spread out as much as they want. So when I say raised bed, I think I might mean something different. Everybody uses that term differently. All I mean is a bed that's separated from the pathways with a little bit of an edge. That brick one comes up about a foot. I just put that in because I needed a place for plants that needed a little bit better drainage. But in general, my beds aren't technically raised up. I'm adding compost and organic matter to them at about the same rate that I'm adding it to my pathways. So the whole garden is kind of raising up a little bit. It's kind of like this giant sponge sitting on top of what used to be pasture, and part of it still is, as you can see. But this part has had a lot of organic matter added directly to beds, and every little while I rake back these wood chips, and there's a nice almost like a topsoil underneath that I just dig up, add to the beds, and then I put the wood chips back on.